nerds, it's Tommy the Hammer coming at you guys on a Saturday. I'm about to meet up with my dude, Dale Henderson, and we're going to head up to Streetsboro, Ohio to check out the flea market. It's pretty badass. Normally I'm not into flea markets, mainly because a lot of the items are kind of gross, but at the Streetsboro Flea Market, just about every vendor takes loving care of all of their items. So I'm super stoked to check it out again. There's this one guy with a booth that has a ton of VHS, and that is our main goal of the day. Me and Dale are going to be sifting, but before we do any of that, we got to get ourselves some breakfast. So stick with us. Alright guys, we just got done shopping at the Streetsboro Flea Market. I got a bag full of random goodies.
Prepare yourself. Prepare yourself.
We're done shopping, doing random movie runs. The way we roll, Neon Trash, Johnny Rocket popping out of nowhere.
Oh yeah!
And we're about to be doing Dale's Choice.
Mountain of the Cannibal Guy, aka Slaves of the Cannibal Guy.
What is this sleaze?
Oh, it's another gem of Italian sleaze cannibal films from the 70s.
It's amazing how these have been popping up lately.
They're
Yes.
wonderful.
So let's kick off the trailer. You know how we do it. Peep it!
Bam!
Was a member of a tribe called the Puka.
Why is everybody so scared of the Puka?
They were the ancient inhabitants of Ra-Rami.
In their language, Ra-Rami means Mountain of the Cannibal God. Papa! We're caught on a rock! Copy!
There's a risk of gangrene.
He's burning up. It was crazy to let him come.
If he insisted on coming along, it means he has his own very good reason.
That's right. I have mine, you have yours, just as Henry had his.
What's yours?
You want the truth? Your husband knew that Ra-Rami possessed resources that could bring him wealth beyond imagination.
We'll be rich, Charles. Rich!
Don't forget the taste of human flesh!
Those cannibals forced you to partake in their rituals.
Yes, and it was horrible.
So, let me ask you guys a quick question here. Were you offended at all by Mountain of the Cannibal God? Rocket!
I mean, on a quick scale of 1 to 10, was I offended by this movie? Yeah, 5 out of 10. Yeah, I was kind of offended by some of the shit in this movie.
It pushes the envelope for sure.
Wow, yeah.
And there was like, at one point I was telling Dale, I was like, you know, this would be a great segue movie into Mondo cannibal films. Because I thought it had enough nuance and class and thought-provoking, you know, narrative to warrant that assessment. And then the final 25 minutes descended upon us, and it was an onslaught of some of the most exploitative debauchery.
It was fucking gold.
Yeah, I mean, this movie,
It was fucking alright.
it pummels your
Yeah.
senses with a succession of scenes that I was not expecting. And we're going to try to not spoil it for our audience. But let me tell you, if you've seen Cannibal Ferox, Cannibal Holocaust, those are all prolific great movies with their own fucked up scenes. This one takes its rank. It's fucked up. I don't know how I exactly feel about some of the scenes, but I liked it. What about you, Rocket?
Man, yeah, there was a lot to love and a lot to hate about this movie. But not in the typical way you might think about hating a movie. Like, when I talk about, being slightly offended, there's some pretty grisly death scenes that don't necessarily involve people, although this is a cannibal movie, but just, I don't know, they like to set the tone with a lot of horrible animal deaths.
Bad things happen.
And I'm not going to describe much more than that. Like, if you are a sensitive, nature-loving person who doesn't like to watch that kind of thing, this is not your movie. They almost felt some weird sense of duty to film that kind of thing, because, I guess the world has to know that the snake is going to eat this monkey, I guess.
One of the more harder scenes to watch.
Yeah, for sure. And the fact that he said it had been used in other movies, I really don't doubt that, because the way the Italians made these movies back in the day, they were just kind of copying off each other, like whatever's successful, let's try that ourselves, And yeah, honestly, this one was pretty well executed. It's slow burned really well. At least we were able to entertain ourselves along the way while it spun its wheels here and there.
Sure.
But there was a lot of other good quality things that kind of helped it along the way. A lot of nudity. Maybe there was some titties in here. Y'all know how we love titties on Neon Trash. So that helped pass the time a little bit from here to there. But man, it's one thing to enjoy a slow burn, but man, it really has to pay off in the end. And this one pays off, but maybe not quite how you were expecting it to, really.
Out of all the cannibal films you've seen, where do you rank this?
You see, when I originally went into this movie, I was afraid it's just going to be another copy or another clone of all the other ones.
Agreed.
Which it sort of is in a way. It follows certain tropes that are pretty canon to most of these films, but other than that, it had its own flesh and vibe. It had its own scenes, it had its own flavor. It's actually had its own different storyline.
Yeah,
and I enjoyed it. It was a good film.
Yeah, it's like, if you've exhausted all the other Mondo films from back in the day, and you've never seen this, then, by all means, check it out. For a long time, I thought Cannibal Ferox and Cannibal Holocaust were the end-all, and they still are the end-all. This is, it earns its place next to those films. This is fucked up. So let's face it, most people watch these movies to see all the shocking ways films back in the day were made. And this movie pushes the envelope, especially those final 20 minutes. I feel like we've said a lot about this movie, so let's get down to the star count, shall we? Mountain of the Cannibal God for Tom is a solid 7 out of 10. Rocket!
Man, I feel very torn about giving this thing a star count, honestly. But at the end of the day, man, for what it is, I'm gonna give it a 7.5.
Ah, yes! Dale, lay it on us, man.
I love this film. This is what I was hoping we'd get tonight. A good Italian movie. We've got a lot of real
stankers.
Ones.
Yeah.
This is actually a good one. So, with that being said, I'll give this one 8.5 to a 9.
Ooh, very nice.
It brings the noise. It brings the funk.
Yeah.
It brings some ultimate horror.
Yeah, and there's a certain level of class to it, but don't discount the fact that you're about to be shocked checking this flick out. Give it a piece.
Something is going to rustle your jimmies about this film.
If you're going to watch it, watch the complete version of it too. Don't get the rated version.
Are you really recording?
Of course.
Fucking a pig.
Was it real?
At least 10-15 seconds of footage.
Reverse deliverance. Well, not really. My bad.
He's melting. He's melting. Okay. And don't step out of that frame.
Step by step, day by day.
Don't know the rest of the lyrics to this terrible song.